Okay, today guys, I'll be explaining the Buzz Chopper. This is a homemade weapon I've made very recently. I have to say, this is one of my favorites. Lay it down there so you can see it. I wear a size 10 men's. It's a very long weapon. I'd say maybe 4 foot. Maybe a little under. Maybe a little bit taller. But this weapon is extremely dangerous. I have a video where I test this. It will most likely be after this. Maybe before, maybe you've already seen it. I'll have to wait until editing to decide how I want to do it. But this is just devastating. The paracord, as you can see, it's more for looks, really, just to give it a kind of a homemade feel to it, give it a kind of a tactical look almost. Anyway, how to make the Buzz Chopper? Well, most important piece is, of course, your saw blade. This is, as you can see, very rusted. An old saw blade I found laying around our farm. Now, just about any saw blade will work. I prefer this one because of its edges. As you can see, it has teeth on all the bits of the blade. No matter where it hits, it's going to cause damage, basically. One side is more of a cutting side, slash, and then the other one you can rip in the metal. For the handle of this, which is the second most important part, I chose a piece of pine. Relatively, maybe about an inch diameter. I'll show you now what exactly I mean. It's a pretty big round stick. I chose pine personally because it's a tough wood and it's what's near me readily available. As you can see, I have 2 samples here, which would be pretty good. This is a little bit bulky. It's also shorter, a little bit shorter, just by about a half an inch or an inch than the other handle. It's just a little bit bulky. And then I have another one which is longer, a good bit longer, but you would need a much lighter saw blade. Or you could cut this down to a shorter length to where you feel it would be comfortable for you or more effective. Moving on. After you've gotten a saw blade and your handle, you're gonna need to figure out how to attach it. I personally used a hacksaw and a vise. I took a pencil, drew on it what I believed would be big enough for the saw blade to go into, but not too big to where it would be really loose. I got mine spot on. And I got about maybe not even a centimeter of gap down at the bottom. But let's see. There's a hole in this middle of the saw blade, like all of them. I put the hole, maybe the top of the hole, like a centimeter down. Probably a little less than that. I don't have a ruler on me. I put it very close to the top. That way, I didn't have to use a hacksaw, or you could use a jigsaw. Pretty much anything that can get you that gap. I didn't put it that far down because I wanted a good bit of my blade showing at the top. Just personal choice, really. I still believe it would be effective if it was lower. This was just my personal choice. And after you do all that, get it down in there, drill a hole. My personal choice was, and I mean, I'm sure you could find other ways to do it if you wanted, but my personal choice was a nut and a bolt. It holds it tight. It doesn't let it spin. Just make sure not to over tighten it like I did. I tightened it too much and it started to crack, but it's still very stable. Paracord, like I said, it's mainly for aesthetics, but it does help if the blade, if I hit something really hard, say a piece of metal, it helps keep the blade from going one way or the other too much. It's a very simple weapon to make. I'll go over the list again. Summary. You're gonna need a handle. In my case, pine. Then you're gonna need a saw blade. My personal choice was more of a wood cutting blade. Then you're gonna need to find a nut and a bolt. Preferably ones that match. And then, if you want, you can use paracord or any other type of rope you want to help secure it. If you do it correctly, then you might not even have to use paracord. This was just to help my design and aesthetics, for the most part, as well as a little bit of stability. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Buzz Chop.